over a year since I've moved to Los Angeles, and I never once shared with you a tour of my apartment. Sorry for that, life just happened. So I mean, there wasn't much to tour about anyways, since it was pretty much empty. And then two, I never shared my experience with how it's been. So in today's video, just wanted to talk through 5 topics. So why I moved, the weather, cost of living, the social scene, and transportation. So starting with topic number 1, why I moved here. I've realized I posted a couple of videos about my apartment journey and didn't mention why I moved, because at that time it didn't matter, but now I'm trying to, build a presence on here. So now's the time to share. So I've been in San Francisco for about 7 years. I moved there in 2015 for community college, and then I went to San Francisco State University, and then from there I wanted to leave. I wanted to get a breath of fresh air, but no job was gonna take me, so I ended up finding a job locally in the Bay Area. So stayed put there for a bit, and then it wasn't until 2022, so 2 years ago, when I landed at 𝒿𝓊𝓇𝓃𝓎, where we're fully remote. So from there, I spent 6 months traveling around. Luckily, it was for locations that I was interested in potentially living. So in Chicago, Texas, and then Los Angeles. I've been to New York already, so I knew that. And then my decision for choosing Los Angeles was that I wanted something that was warm, sunny, bright, and knew that I could not stand the winter. And I also wanted to live alone, so process of elimination. I did enjoy Texas, specifically with Houston, but it was somewhere that I felt like it was too early in my life to get into yet. So here I am in Los Angeles. Ironically though, as I'm filming this, I'm actually staying in Sacramento with family for the time being, since I am just hopping around while I don't have a lease. So the second thing is the weather. I'm sure you all know about 𝐹𝓁, the fog in San Francisco. There's definitely fog in Los Angeles too. I moved in March thinking I'm gonna just bathe in the sun to an extent because I don't get tan. Because when I tan, it's like weird tan. But that wasn't the case. It was foggy and gloomy up until probably late afternoon. So that's something that I was not familiar with June gloom. And I think it stays foggy from December to June, which kind of sucks. But I'm not really there right now to validate that. So if anyone lives in Los Angeles, in the K-Town area, don't know if it's different on like San Gabriel, let me know. Overall, it's warm in San Francisco, and that's something that I definitely wanted to have. So that was really good. And then topic 3 is transportation. So first, in terms of cost, it's $1.75 per 90-minute ride in Los Angeles, and then it's $2.50 from what I know, unless that's changed, in San Francisco. Both of them, you can use your phone to download on your wallet the transportation card for that, either the Clipper card or the LA Metro card, and just use that to your expense. All right, and then diving into the accessibility, I definitely think that San Francisco does a way better job with it being accessible. Granted, it is smaller, more condensed, so there are areas for it to be improved, and also just easier to navigate around since it is small, versus in Los Angeles, it's very spread out. Even then though, I feel like there's areas that, I mean, they're still developing it. So for example, where LACMA is, they don't even have a train to get to downtown, which I think is really important. But I know that, they probably have that problem in a lot of other areas too. This is just, I'm speaking to my vicinity. I thought the train station is a lot sketchier, at least the one in K-Town. So I never look forward to, and I try to have that as my last resort option to use that. I like to take the bus. I would prefer taking the bus because I just feel safer in it. And I totally didn't understand LA traffic because I didn't really was aware of it until when I had to drive around. I definitely hate it, and I don't like how there's valet everywhere as well. And it's harder to find parking here, I feel like, than in San Francisco, depending on where you go. The pro though about parking validation is that it's a flat fee. So you pay $5 for like 2-3 hours, maybe 5 hours. So it's like $1 an hour. It's depending on like what your needs are, versus with the meter in San Francisco, you pay, I don't know, it really depends, right? $2.50 an hour, $5 for an hour, depending on where you are, and you sometimes forget to, you know, fill the meter. So that's a disadvantage. And then I feel like in San Francisco, you typically know when are good times to drive around across a bridge or just like go anywhere, because traffic is pretty consistent. But then Los Angeles, it's very random because people have random jobs, odd hours. So sometimes it's just hard to predict. I mean, of course, you can just pull up your phone to check how long it'll take to go somewhere, but luckily I don't have to deal with that. But in the times I do, I definitely try to give a rough estimate of like a day before to check on that given time, and then just like plan from there. All right, topic 4 is the social scene. So I moved in or near K-Town, thinking not that I will go out all the time, but it's just more accessible. Haven't gone out a couple times in K-Town, even before I lived there when I subleased, was enough. I definitely think that there's less options compared to Hollywood, especially just based off of my interest in different types of music. And I think because it's been a while now, K-Town primarily plays the old school EDM in Asia, or just really bad like 90s EDM / hip hop or an R&B. And I just think that people dance differently there. And overall, as a person who's in their late 20s, I've grown out of that because I went clubbing like 2 years in a row in San Francisco. So if you're someone who's already been there, done that kind of thing, I don't think K-Town is a place that you would default to if you're thinking you would like go out. I would say it's typically more of like the Hollywood area because it's just more of a variety there. And then I found it interesting to see a lot of events on like Tuesday nights, which I guess makes sense, and since the entertainment industry here is really big, so I was surprised but also not surprised about that. And then in terms of just meeting people, building friendships and all that, it's definitely difficult and different compared to San Francisco. People speak a different language, so when just meeting someone new, you typically know their name. In San Francisco, you kind of default to what they do for work. And the way I see it, people in San Francisco just want to know, you know, what your skills are and like what impact you've made for the company, to just gauge like how you spend your life. And in Los Angeles, people don't really care about that. It's more about, I would say, appearance is one, and then just like what you can do for me. I mean, in a way, they're both pretty transactional of relationships. It doesn't matter where you go, because people are friends with each other for a certain reason anyways, whether they bring them entertainment, benefits, or connections, whatnot. I just feel like it's more challenging for me to make friends in Los Angeles outside of my work environment, because I think that I just always jump into the gun of, you know, being more personal than I should be. And for me, I just think, hey, like, they aren't my tribe, because your vibe is your tribe, and that's totally fine. Another thing is, I didn't realize how big LA was when I first moved here. Telling people I moved to LA, I live in LA, they're like, oh, where in LA? I used to think that it was very central, but it's definitely much more than that, which also makes it harder to make friends, I think, because it's a lot more effort to having to drive there because Uber is expensive, or Uber adds up and all that. So it's different. Luckily, I've made one friend that I consistently talk to from Bumble, and it's been great. I even, temporarily moved in with her before she moved out of her place. So, it's been a great experience on Bumble. I thank Bumble for that. Topic number 5 is cost of living. Overall, I think that San Francisco is a lot more expensive than LA still in terms of housing. I feel like you have less options living in San Francisco to get something cheaper because that resorts into more sketchy areas, versus in Los Angeles, you just have concessions. So if you want somewhere cheaper, then that just means you won't get parking or you won't get a full kitchen, and it doesn't normally default to just having to go into a more sketchy area. So I think that that's a plus. In terms of like food, coffee, just consume like food and beverage, I feel like they're both the same. You can definitely find pockets of cheap places in San Francisco, probably more in the like Chinatown areas. In Los Angeles, you can find that in a more varied way. So there's cheap burgers, cheap Mediterranean food, taco trucks everywhere. So that's something that you can't get in San Francisco. But overall, I'd say that if you're trying to find a more budget place to live, then Los Angeles is probably better. So all in all, I don't regret my move to Los Angeles. My goal here was to focus on myself, remove myself from distractions, and I got exactly that. I've gotten like 3 certifications and continued to get to where I'm at with my professional growth, and want to continue doing that to get to a more stable area of my life. And it's getting there. So I'm really glad about that. Now, I came into moving to Los Angeles knowing very well that I was here for a good time, not a long time, and that has continued to stay. And luckily, my boyfriend feels the same way. So with that being said, we are going to stay here for another year to just continue with focusing on our professional endeavors and then see where life takes us. On that note, stay tuned in August, September, when I make another post about our apartment hunting journey. And this time it will be an apartment for us to live together. And yeah, hope this helps covering any gaps that you might have in your decision of moving to Los Angeles or San Francisco. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions. And yeah, thanks for watching, and until next time.